boys and girls, let's play ball! Play ball! Let the world know that we gotta play ball. Nothing's gonna stop us, we're gonna play ball. Tap to the back and I'm yelling play ball. Smile on my face so a steady play ball. Dad to the plate, now he's ready play ball. Hoping I can catch me a home run ball. Scheming for my team, going crazy play ball. Words up on the screen and it's saying play ball. As I lean and I rock his play ball. Turn the TV on so we can watch him play ball. To the first pitch so we can watch him play ball. I'm calling all my friends because I wanna play ball. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. It's not cold, grab your glove and calm out. Winter's gone so it's time to play ball. Let the world know that we gotta play ball. Nothing's gonna stop us, we're gonna play ball. Cap to the back and I'm yelling play ball. Smile on my face so it's steady play ball. Bat to the plate, now he's play ball. Hoping I can catch me a home run ball. Screaming for my team, going crazy play ball. Words up on the screen and it's saying play ball. As I lean and I rock his play ball. Turn the TV on so we can watch him play ball. To the first pitch so we can watch him play ball. I'm calling all my friends because I wanna play ball.
Well, all right. Welcome, everybody. Another episode of Legend Sports and Amplify. And we are talking baseball history, Negro League history, card art, music. We have had it all. And I am really, really happy. And it's going to be a lot of fun today. I have on from Dallas, Texas, formerly of Birmingham. He's a young advocate for so many great causes and inspiration. Austin Perine, and his dad TJ. How you guys doing, man?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Awesome. We were planning on doing this. I reached out to you guys back in, I bet you it was March, April, I guess it was, and you were going through a move, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because I think that's a, it's an everyday life occurrence that kids go through and see how that all goes. But before we got started, I explained to you why I was doing what I'm doing with these videos. This is number 56 that I've done over the last 6 months. I do a couple a week, and I reach out to authors, researchers, historians, recently even musicians, actors, actresses, all things I think that you are interested in, Austin, as some of the things you've been doing in the past, but all to try to add color and context to the story of black baseball history, Negro League baseball. And when I saw your video about visiting the home of Henry Aaron, I thought, boy, I would love to have you guys on to talk about that experience. And then when I started finding out more about you and what you were doing, I just thought it was awesome because it's an inspiration to a lot of people, not just kids, but also to adults out there. So how did you get into, at such an early age, you were 4 years old, into working with, like you did, the homeless in Birmingham?
Well, I was watching television with my dad, and we were watching it on pandas, and the mother panda left the cub. So I got concerned, and my dad told me that the cub would be homeless for a while. And I said, are people homeless and hungry?
Cool. And so when you found out that they were, you went and did something about it, right? And you did it in a very, very unique and inspiring way. You put on a cape. You became a superhero. What was that like to go down there and do that?
It felt great.
I bet. You probably have met so many people through that experience over the years as well. Is there any particular one story that really, really, made you feel that you were making a difference, that was important to you? I'm sure they all were.
Probably feeding the homeless. Like, that's the highlight of my life. Like,
I bet. That was in Birmingham, and now you've moved. One of the reasons why we held off a little bit was you guys were going through a move to go to, and as a young person, I remember moving when I was a kid. Even in the last couple of years with my three boys, we've moved. Not as far as you did, but we moved. And that's a different experience. What was that like? And now, having to travel as far as you did, and now you're in a new school, have to meet new friends. How's that been all going for you?
it's been going pretty good.
And you're making new friends, and is that hard to do when you're getting into a new school?
Nah, it's not that hard.
What do you do? How do you make friends? What's your way of making a new friend when you go to school?
Well, to make friends, you have to be one.
Absolutely, that's a good way to look at it, right? Because that's in all that we're talking about here, that's been kind of your message, right? To show kindness and to show love, like you did with people who are less fortunate. I mean, that's something that, yeah, if you're somebody else's friend, yeah, they probably would be more likely to want to be yours as well. So. We talked before we got on here. You love to play sports. In addition to, we listened to your song before we started, play ball. But what other sports do you play?
Well, I play football, I play baseball, and I run track. I do a lot.
That sure is, man. That sounds like me. I didn't play football when I was a kid. We didn't have a football team where I went to school, but I did play baseball. I did play basketball, and I did run track as well. So that's a lot of work, right? I mean, you're probably constantly running from here to there. That's why I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this, because I know between school and sports, and it's a busy schedule. What's your favorite sport? Do you have one?
That's probably going to be football.
Yeah? How come? Why do you like football?
Well, I like it because it's my friends. I get to play with them. Like, I'm good at it.
That helps, right? Yeah, when you're good at something. That's why I was going to ask you, what's the hardest sport to you?
Baseball.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you there. It's not easy because you got a ball coming in really fast. It's not coming straight, and you got to hit it. It's not easy. Hitting a baseball is probably one of the hardest things to do in any sport. I'm with you. Running, if you're in pretty good shape, you could run pretty fast. Hitting a baseball, that takes a lot of skill, that's for sure. So talking about baseball, you got to visit the greatest. I mean, I know Barry Bonds broke his record, but to me, he's still the greatest home run hitter of all time, the home of Henry Aaron. What was that like when you got to visit his house?
It was an honor, and it just felt great.
I bet. When I saw that video where you stepped in there, and I could tell by the look on your face that it was just, and you had your Braves uniform on. You're still going to stay a Braves fan, I guess, now that you moved?
I'm still going to stay a Braves fan.
And how about that? They're only one more game. They got to get one more game to get to the World Series. So hopefully they do it tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm a Philadelphia sports fan myself, but because they're in the same division as the Braves, I'm rooting for the Braves too. I want to see Atlanta win. So yeah, even though I moved to just like you, I'm from Pennsylvania originally, a little further even away than Alabama from Texas, but I'm down in the Houston area. I moved here about 20 years ago or so. I'm always going to be a Philadelphia sports fan because that's where I grew up, and that's who I'm going to stay as a fan. So yeah, I'm with you. So I hope the Braves win. So Henry Aaron, as we talked about, for a long time holding the home run record. He began his career in what was then known as the Negro Leagues, and he went on after Jackie Robinson to become, to begin playing for the Milwaukee Braves and become the greatest home run hitter of all time. Are you familiar with the story of the Negro Leagues? Have you heard that before? Have you heard that term before?
No, not really.
So before, you mentioned Jackie Robinson, and when Henry Aaron was very, very young, African Americans were not allowed to play in Major League Baseball. So think about this, right? The Atlanta Braves have Ronald Acuna, name it, anybody whose skin is not white would not be playing for the Atlanta Braves today, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, simply because of the color of their skin. And it wasn't right. It was segregation. It was nothing about it was right. And they played in their own leagues, and those leagues went on for many, many years. Only black players and Latin American players, because if your skin color was dark and you were from Cuba or Puerto Rico or Mexico, you still couldn't play in Major League Baseball either. So they formed their own league. And it's a great story. Not the segregation part, but the fact that they kept on going. They didn't let that bother them. They played, and they played well. And eventually, Jackie Robinson became the first one in 1947. That's a long time ago, to play in Major League Baseball. He was finally allowed to, and then more came after him. So I know, as part of what you've talked about, one of the things, if you become president, because you go by President Austin, which I think is awesome, is to end racism. What do you think of that story? How would you go about doing that? What would you do?
I would make it a law, and racism would not be allowed at all. That is wrong.
Absolutely. I am with you. It is wrong. Everything about it was wrong. And that's what made it so frustrating to many people, because not everybody agreed with it. But if you have people in power who are okay with that, they're going to allow it to happen. And it's unfortunate. And that's why all the efforts that go on over the years to tell these stories. Come here, buddy. Here's my come here, buddy. Come on over. Come over and say hello. Come here. Here's my little guy. Say hello. He just turned 5. His 5th birthday was just the other day. So, but those stories are important to know, because you have to kind of know where things were, where you want them to go to know how to fix it, right? I mean, I think that's important to know these stories. Otherwise, it's really easy if people don't know all the story, for people to kind of make things up and change the story the way they want to fit it, So some of the players besides Henry Aaron that played in the Negro Leagues that are from Alabama, and I mentioned some of them to you, were Satchel Paige. You got to go do some history and digging on who Satchel Paige was. Have you ever heard of him before? How about you, TJ? You know who Satchel Paige?
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we just start. You guys
I'm from.
Yeah, so for people out there that are going to be watching this, you told me that your uncle was Billy Williams.
Billy Williams, yes, he has a street named after. He's from my hometown, Whistler, Alabama.
Right, he was. I mean, how cool is that? He was known, Austin, as Sweet Swingin' Billy from Whistler. That was his nickname. It was a long nickname, but that was his nickname because he had such a beautiful swing. He was a left-handed outfielder, played for the Cubs, and he's in the Hall of Fame, as are many players from Alabama. I mentioned besides Satchel Paige, double duty Radcliffe. Ted Radcliffe is from Alabama. Ozzie Smith. What position do you play in baseball?
Well, they sometimes rotate us. Like sometimes I play second, sometimes I play third, sometimes I play shortstop,
Cool.
sometimes outfield.
Well, it's good to learn all the positions. What Ozzie Smith to me is the greatest fielding shortstop to ever play. If you ever end up playing shortstop more, you got to watch some video about Ozzie Smith because he was just a fantastic shortstop. What's your favorite position to play?
Probably pitcher.
Yeah, everybody likes to pitch, right? When you're pitching, you have control of the ball. It's the only sport, right? Baseball is the only sport that when you have the ball, you're on defense. Every other sport, when you have the ball, you're on offense, right? Basketball, you're dribbling, you're trying to score, you have the ball. Football, you have the ball, right? But when baseball is played, it's the opposite. It's the only sport that's the other way around. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's actually the opposite. I love baseball is my favorite sport. I watch them all. But to me, baseball is so much fun for that reason. But also, there's no time. There's no time limit. There's no clock. A baseball game could go forever, really. I mean, how many innings are you playing when you're playing now? Is it 6-inning games or... What are they playing, TJ?
6.
6. And that's it, right? Probably once you play your 6, you're done, right? If they even play that long sometimes.
It depends. If we're in a tournament, then we could play 3 or 4 games a day.
Oh wow!
But if it's just like play, we'll just play one game and that's 6 innings.
I coached my nephews along with my brother when they were probably just about your age, 7, 8, 9 years old, up until they hit high school, and that was so much fun. Working, I love coaching little, younger kids. I think it's way too much. It's way fun. Sometimes as you get older, kids will start getting into camps and all kinds of other things, and the fun kind of gets taken out of the sport, a little bit. So your goal, besides sports, and you've done that music video, you've also written a book. What haven't you done? What's something that you want to do that you haven't done yet? Because you've done a lot of really cool things, man. I have to tell you.
I might want to go to a different country and be.
That'd be fun. What country you think you'd want to go see?
Probably Paris.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I see that, TJ. You got that on your list? You got that on your list to go to Paris? That would be. Start saving up for that, right? That would be fun. There's a lot of cool places, even though close by, that you could go see, especially if you're a sports fan. Heck, the Dominican Republic has got some great baseball down there. That so many players from the Dominican that are playing in Major League Baseball, and that's a great place to go visit. Yeah, I mean, now that you're in Texas, you got a whole other world over there to explore. So a lot of cool places to go see in Texas. But yeah, Paris would be fun. I think if I could pick a place, I'd probably pick maybe Japan. I'd like to go see a baseball game in Japan one day. I think that would be kind of fun.
Japan too.
Yeah, see, you'd like to go to Japan too. So any other things that you guys are so acting. I had on Okay, Austin, besides the Negro Leagues, besides that aspect of it, there were girls who played in Negro League baseball. Back in the 1950s, there was 3 women who played. One of whom was named Toni Stone, and she played on the same team as Hank Aaron, and they made a play, an acting play called Toni Stone, that I had on the actress April Mathis, her name is, who played the part, and it's fantastic. If you get time, TJ, Google Toni Stone play, and you can see some footage from it. It is fantastic to see how they're able to simulate a baseball game on a stage, right? I mean, you know, acting on a stage. It's just an incredible show about a great story that covers a lot of cool topics, and I think he would enjoy it as well to see it. But is that something that you like as well? You like acting as well?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you like about that? You get to play different parts, or what do you like about acting?
It's just really fun.
What I know you've done a couple of things where you've done like broadcasting, right? Like kind of like a sportscaster. Do you like doing that kind of thing as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, right? You get to talk to a lot of people, kind of like what I'm doing. I mean, I've had so many great conversations with people that have been so much fun that I think, and I hope people are learning something out of it. But I hats off to both of you guys. I mean, the work you're doing, Austin, keep it up. I think it's incredible. That message that you're trying to share of showing other people kindness is important. I think it's missing a lot of the time today. You see the news, right? I mean, there's a lot of, sometimes there's some good things going on, but there's some not so good things. And I think if people took time to care about one another, maybe we wouldn't have the same issues that we're having. But I hope the best for you. Anything I can do to help you. I mentioned to your dad, I think that there's a couple of things that if you're interested in your area now that you moved, that maybe that might, you know, if you're into acting, there's children's theater in Dallas. There's other theaters that if you wanted to get involved in that, I know it's a lot that you're working on besides sports and school and everything else, but you know, all these things are very fun, and you know, it's great. I think one of the things, seeing that you're doing all these things that kids I think need to see as well, is it's okay to do a lot of different things, and then eventually you'll find what you really, really like to do, and as you get older, you'll concentrate on that more. But I think it's good to try a lot of different things and see what you like and don't like. You know, going on, TJ, anything?
Oh, I'm just getting him where he needs to be. Baseball, school, acting. He's just keeping me busy as his wingman.
I bet, right? I mean, you were involved in a lot of stuff. I think it's great. I you know, boy, oh boy, everybody should follow you guys' examples, because it's important. I think not only the messages that you guys are trying to share, but the taking the time. As a parent, as you know, an advocate, as a mentor, it's important. Everybody needs to have those things, and I've done it even in coaching. I know over the years I've you know, you come across, you meet so many different people. They're all in different situations. They're all in different, you know, parts of their life, and you know, do what you can to help them. It not only makes you feel good, but you never know down the road what you may or may not have helped when it comes to that. You know, kind word here and whatever you can do. I think it's important. So, like I said, hats off to both of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spreading the word. I'll keep spreading the word. I'll help you guys spread the word. And best of luck. Stay safe out there.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.